Hi, this is Gary. Welcome to today's video. So it's the start of a new month, it's the start of March. So today we're going to look at the 7 pens and inks that I'm going to be using during the month of March of 2021. We'll briefly look at each of the pens, we'll look at the ink, I'll do a writing sample, and then we'll move on to the next one. So join me now as we go through my 7 pens for March of 2021. So let's kick off with the first pen, and it's this one. It's from PenBbs and it's the Model 487. This comes with a fine nib, and I will be honest with you, it's one of my favourite pens. And in it, I'm going to put this ink here. This is by Colorverse and it's Supernova. This pen and ink, well, I've used this combination now for quite a few months. I love it together. They look really well, and I thought what better way to kick off March than fetching it back again. So let's take a quick look at the writing. So we have here a PenBbs Model 487 with that fine nib. I mean, it's a beautiful combination, this. The ink, well, it's by Colorverse and it's called Supernova. I really do love the blue of this ink. It is my favourite blue and I love the pairing that I get with this. Let's look at our dry times. So we start with immediate. You know, it's a beautiful wet ink. Now going to wait for 10 seconds. And even now, it's still got a lovely amount of wetness to it. 30 seconds. You know, 30 seconds, it's still got that colour coming off. This time, what we'll do is we'll leave it for 1 minute. After 1 minute, you can still see it's still smearing a little bit up at the top here. So definitely a really nice wet ink and pen combination. So this here is the PenBbs Model 487 in a fine nib with Colorverse Supernova ink. My second pen for March. It's the first time I've had this in my pens in use. This one's from Jinhao and it's the Model 997. This one, it's actually got a 1.1 stub nib. It's only my second time that I've tried a stub nib, so I'm really interested to see how this goes, to see if it makes any difference to my handwriting. The ink in here, it's another Colorverse ink, and it's called Redshift. So this is a very bright pinky red. Again, I've said this a few times, I love the names of the Colorverse inks because Redshift, that's that shift that you get in light when it's coming from distant sources. So I thought, you know, let's give this one a try out. So let's have a quick writing sample with this. So we've got a Jinhao, .997 with that 1.1 stub. The ink, Colorverse, Redshift. I love the way this is writing on here. You know, it's got that width, but it's also got the narrow lines as well. So it's really given a little bit of, well, I think, character to my writing on here. It'd be interesting to see how I go through the month with this. Let's see how well it dries. Well, immediate. Actually, not as wet as I thought. 30 seconds. So this is a good start for this because the pen has run dry. Let me just try and see if I can get it to write. So I've tried a couple of things, I just cannot get the ink to flow down the channel. What I'll have to do is look at this as part of this actually month of using it, see if I can work out what's going on. But yeah, I love the colour, the pen's nice to hold, but let's see how it goes because at the end of the day, if the pen doesn't write, it's useless. So that's something for me to play around with. My third pen, this one is a Picasso. And it's the Picasso 916, Pimio 916. Why I'm writing with this to start with is I want to show you the red. So I've picked a red which goes hopefully with the band. This is a really nice pen. Again, first time I'm going to be using this. And in here I'm using a Robert Oster ink and it's called Fire Engine Red. So I'm hoping that the red in this band will match the red in the ink. Beauty with this nib is it's a medium, but it's a titanium nib, where all my other pens that I'm using this month are steel nibs. So I'm interested to see what the difference is between a titanium nib and the steel nibs. Again, this is the first time I've used a titanium nib. So the ink, as we said, is by Robert Oster, and it's called Fire Engine Red. Really like this, really nice bright red. I've used this ink in a couple of other pens and I've always loved the way it comes out. Let's check our wetness. So immediate, well, it's a nice wet ink. We'll leave it for 10 seconds. It's certainly drier than the Supernova at the moment. 30 seconds. A little bit of smudging coming off here. So for completeness, we'll leave it for 1 minute. After a minute, well, we'd expect it's completely dry. So this here, this is the Picasso Pimio 916 with that medium titanium nib. Really like the opportunity to try something new on this. Pen number 4, we're nearly halfway there. This one's another Jinhao pen. This is the Jinhao 100 and it's in blue. The nib on here is a medium. Beautiful blue colouring on this. Really impressed by the colouring on this pen. The ink, well, I think the ink I'm going to be using today is a really good match. It's by Diamine and it's called Sapphire Blue. And when I look at them together, they really do seem to complement each other. I mean, the blues, yes, there's a little bit more purple that I can see coming through in the ink, but the tone is just so nice. Just going to move the paper up so you can see the writing sample better. And so we go here for a Jinhao 100. I'm going to put in brackets that it's the blue one because I've got quite a few of these. And it's got that medium nib. The ink, Diamine, Sapphire Blue. I really like this combination again. It just seems to go so well together. Let's try our wetness. So immediate. Wow, that's a bit of a gusher, isn't it? Let's leave it for 10 seconds. 30 seconds. That's getting quite dry by now. Finally, 1 minute. After a minute, yeah, that's bone dry. I mean, we expected that after seeing the 30 seconds. So this pen, the Jinhao 100 in the blue pattern with a medium nib and Diamine Sapphire Blue ink. Pen number 5. Well, this pen, it's my latest pen edition. It literally only arrived a couple of days ago. This is again by PenBbs and it's the Model 456 and it's in the cloud pattern. I absolutely love the pattern on this. I love the colour. It's just so nice. I mean, yes, you've got a lot of white, but you've got different shades of white. You've got some greys in there. You've got some transparency. Absolutely gorgeous. I've got to be honest, it's absolutely gorgeous. I think it's one of the best looking pens I've got. The ink that I've decided to put in here is this one. Again by Diamine, and it's called Merlot. Beauty of having this white pen, well, I can put any ink I want in it really. I'm not really tied to specific inks. You've got that flexibility. And I'm hoping that this, with like the purpley browns, really looks nice in this pen. Let's have a look at it writing. So this is a PenBbs 456. It's got a fine nib. I'm just going to put here, it's the cloud one. I've only got this one Model 456 at the moment, but if I like writing with it, I may buy some of the other colours. It's one of the nice things with PenBbs. You've got such a wide range of different colours and finishes that you can choose from. The ink, as I said, is by Diamine. And it's called Merlot. You know, this is definitely, it's a dark ink at the moment, but you can definitely see the purples and the browns coming out of it. Check our wetness, so immediate. In this smudge, you can really see that purple. We'll wait 10 seconds. Hardly any change there really. 30 seconds. Well, you've gone from really wet at 10 to quite dry by the time we get to 30 seconds. Our final test with this pen, 1 minute. After a minute, well, that's nice and dry. So this is the PenBbs 456 with that fine nib, and it's in the cloud pattern. Pen number 6, so only 2 more pens to go. This one, it's a Jinhao, and it's a Jinhao X750 in black. Now, I got this with this textured black, so you can feel it quite nicely in your hands. It's a nice weighty pen, so there's a definite weight to it. Again, because it's black, I'm not limited by what colour ink I put in it. So what I've done is I've put this nice, gorgeous Robert Oster Aussie Brown. So this is a really dark brown, and when I look at it, you know, you can see how it's got that Aussie colour because there are shades of brown coming through that I definitely see when I'm out and about in the area of Australia that I live in. So let's have a look at this one. It says a Jinhao X750. It's got the medium nib. The ink, Robert Oster Aussie Brown. I mean, I don't know if it comes over on the camera, but from where I'm sitting, you can see some shading coming through. You've got the paleness, then you've got those dark lines as well. Just going to move this up so you can see it as I dry. So let's go for our smear test. So immediate. Beautiful brown colour. 10 seconds. 30 seconds. You know, 30 seconds is still really wet. 1 minute. After a minute, it's nice and dry, so we've gone from super wet at 30 seconds to dry at 1 minute. Now, one of the things I'm noticing, and I'm not sure if it comes over on the camera, I've got 2 medium Jinhaos here and then a fine PenBbs. But to my eye, they all look like they've got the same line width. So that's something I'll be able to check out during the month. Actually look at the difference in line width between the different pens and to see if there is some kind of pattern that I can see. So this pen here is a Jinhao X750 with a medium nib and Robert Oster Aussie Brown. My last pen, well, this one again is by Jinhao. This is the Jinhao Model 200. So we've gone from the heavy weight of the X750 to this much lighter weight 200. Again, it's got a medium nib, and in here, the ink that I've chosen is by Diamine, and it's called Tobacco Sunburst. So this is a paler brown. Now, I've picked this because, again, I think it's going to complement some of the paler colours in my pen here. So yes, you've got these black bits, but then when we look at the pale part here, really seems to pick up this colour really nicely. So let's try our writing sample with this. So we've got a Jinhao 200 with a medium nib and Diamine Tobacco Sunburst. Really nice brown colour. This is the first time I've used this ink. Again, I'm seeing some lovely shading coming through, you know, in the tobacco and sunburst here. Let's test our wetness. So immediate, you know, we expect that. 10 seconds. Well, that's dried out quite nicely. 30 seconds. Well, 30 seconds. I'm just going to do that again. It's dry. So quite a nice quick drying ink in this pen. So this is the Jinhao Model 200 with Diamine Tobacco Sunburst. So I'm just going to fetch all the pens back in. We'll have a final look at them and then we'll sum up today's video. So here we are. Here are the 7 pens that I'm going to be using during March of 2021. The PenBbs 487 with Colorverse Supernova. The Jinhao 997 with Colorverse Redshift, and that's assuming I can actually get it to write again. the Picasso Pimio 916 with Robert Oster Fire Engine Red, the Jinhao 100 with Diamine Sapphire Blue, the PenBbs 456 with Diamine Merlot, the Jinhao X750 with Robert Oster Aussie Brown, and the Jinhao 200 with Diamine Tobacco Sunburst. Now this month I've themed it. You may already be able to see that theme. These are all pens that are from China. I thought this is a good chance to test out some of these Chinese pens and put them head to head against each other for a full month, so I get plenty of experience with each one, plenty of time using them, so I can come up with some real nice thoughts about them. If you've liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Do you have any of these pens? Do you have any of these inks? What inks would you like to see in these pens? I'd love to get the conversation going in the comments below, so please drop a comment and let's start chatting. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.